Well, we're here. It's the big day. I went out by myself and had a little practice drive on some roads yesterday. We were going to go for a hike, but I didn't have enough spoons in me to be able to, after the whole getting here and all that excitement, to go for a hike through the mountains. So just cruised around doing a bit of touristy stuff around Katoomba and had a bite to eat and sorted the race check-in. Just took it easy yesterday so that I've got enough in the tank for me to be a support person. I know everyone's going, you need enough in your tank to race. Oh, shit, yeah. But I need a lot to do this supporting. So yeah, up at 4 o'clock this morning because he's got a mate running as well who slept on the couch. So getting up, getting ready, driving through the mountains. Thankfully my son drove. I was a passenger in the fog on the highway, and then with all the road closures, trying to find a way back to the start line was pretty horrible. But he was very composed, I'll give him that. And yeah, the race has started. They've kicked off, and I'm not allowed to leave the car park until 9:15. It's currently 6:45. So, and the first load of people to leave are for the professional runners. My son's a really good amateur, not a professional. So we have to let all the pro support crew leave first. Then I have to get my way through all the road closures, out of the town, to the highway, and onto the first checkpoint. Or, depending on how time is going, I might get to go back to the cottage briefly and then drive to the checkpoint from there. We'll just see how it goes. I've done everything I can to prepare, and yeah, I'm wearing earbuds. There's a lot of people here. That's why I'm sitting in the car. But I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a really good day. Well, pretty damn pleased with myself, to be honest. I'm doing okay. The race is obviously, you know, they're chucking along at a reasonable pace because they opened the gates probably about 9 o'clock rather than 9:15. So I was able to get out and just get back to the cottage for a bit, just to regroup. My son's ahead of his planned schedule, so me being at the halfway point, resting and getting my head together before meeting him at the next checkpoint is really good. That means basically I've just got a quick 14k drive from here, so that'll be easy. Down a windy country road. The hardest thing I found going between the towns was the fact that you've got really slow speed limits over here, and for someone who doesn't like driving, I'm used to the minimum speeds being 80 and normally driving around at 100, so most of my trip here between towns was like 70 k's, so it was really hard to actually stay below the 70 k's, and the traffic wasn't bad at all. So all this sitting around watching videos of people driving around the Blue Mountains with their dash cams has definitely been helpful for me. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. Bit of a nip in the air, but then again I'm standing on the top of a mountain at the end of autumn, and I'm wearing like 3 layers, thermals and fleecies, but yeah, so far so good today, and I'm so pleased with my son. He's awesome. It's now 5:15 in the afternoon. I've done all my support crew bits. He's running his final leg. Last time I saw him, he was at 70k and just grinning and happy and fine, and
ahead of schedule, so he's doing great. I'm really, really proud of him. And I'm actually pretty pleased with myself, to be honest. I have made it through quite a challenging day. After I last spoke to you, I went to the major intersection in town, and I'd already seen on videos and in person that it has right arrow turns at traffic lights. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. I've got to turn right at, the main intersection in town. There's arrows. There'll be a green arrow telling me when to turn right. They weren't working. So there's me sitting in the right-hand lane on the highway with traffic streaming towards me and backing up behind me, and me going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, how am I supposed to turn right? I can't turn right without a special arrow. But so I just sat there for one entire cycle just going, oh. And then I got my act together and managed to get through the next one. There was a gap, and I just had to take it, and I did it. Okay, that's fine. And now we go on to the little windy little road that I've been looking at, and I've got really comfortable driving. It was full of potholes. There'd been a bit of a landslide. Some of the road was just dirt. There was lots of roadworks happening. So it was like, okay, this isn't quite what was expected, but the good thing was it cut the traffic speed down. So, I got there. And I was really pleased I did that. So, and then got myself back. Gave myself a little bit of time out by going back to the cottage and making myself lunch, save money and give myself a bit of quiet time. Then the app let me know that my son was definitely ahead of schedule because he'd just gone through another checkpoint, and I had to meet him at the next one. I'm like, oh my God, he's going too fast. I've got to, get 2 towns over now. So I got 3/4 of the way there, and he sent me a message going, I'm really craving this. Like, can you go into a shops and find me this? And I'm like, okay, I've now got to go back the way I came and find a supermarket. There's 3 supermarkets in a row. It's Saturday afternoon shopping. So it was 3 laps of the car park trying to find a bloody car parking space. For me, that is just such a massive deal. I was like, I don't know, gotta do this. No, gotta do this. Ran into the nearest supermarket when I managed to find a place. And where do I find this quickly? It's an emergency. Okay, go to aisle 4. Thank you. And then I had to use one of these fancy technical checkouts that we don't have at my local supermarket, where you just swipe things with barcodes and then pay. And I'm like, I'm standing there. I knew how to swipe the barcode bit, but I couldn't do the paying bit. I had to go and flag someone. Please, can you help me do this? And then get back on the road and then go back to find the other place. And I managed to take a wrong turn, and, I ended up joining the runners on the road. But they were really nice, and, the event crew let me turn myself around and get back to where I needed to. And so I did that. And so I've done all my support crew bits. I've met him where I've needed to be. So I'm now waiting at the finish line, and I will probably be here for another 2.5, 3 hours. And closer to the time, I will go back to where the action is. But right now I'm taking some quiet time, because over there where the action is loud. You've got thousands of people cheering and ringing cowbells, and you've got the commentators with their microphones and music, boom, 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 boom. So it's pretty full on. So I mean, it probably has what normal people would think is a really good atmosphere, and it's really well run. It's certainly a new experience for me. I'm really glad I've got this far, and I've helped my son, and I'm holding it together. But I've paced myself, and I've given myself time out. negotiating streets that look like bloody San Francisco. I mean, there's me thinking of little country towns. These are not little country towns. They are massive. And the hills aren't little dainty hills. They're like up and down and up and down. They're like heart rate monitors. And there's so many roundabouts. Roundabouts everywhere. And right turns everywhere. So for a lady who doesn't like traffic lights, roundabouts, right turns, or driving downhill, and really can't handle traffic, I think I've done extremely well. But I don't think I'll be doing a lot tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a quiet recovery day. My son will be recovering after running 100 kilometers. I will just be recovering from being involved. But I'm still giving myself a pat on the back for getting this far. Yeah, it's good. I have done well.
Did it, and did it more than did it. My son is amazing. Personal best he's ever done. Got himself his silver buckle. Absolutely amazing. You know, he wanted to be able to do it in under 14 hours and he romped home and you couldn't wipe the grin from his face. Last time I gave you a little update, I thought I was done with driving for the day, apart from driving him home. But he had a mate running and his mate got injured and phoned me for help. So I went on a little SOS mission of, you know, a further 90 minutes of driving in the dark down the highway and windy roads. So if you can tell, I'm a little bit buggered, but I've had a massive day and a lot of achievements, and my son is king. I'm so happy to have been involved and been able to support him. I think we'll both rest up tomorrow. Thank you for your time and your patience listening to me ramble. See you guys.